Okay, got it. Any comments? Okay, so today I've got I have a good program today. I think I have a good program today. I want to continue doing teacups because I'd like everybody to be able to own that. What I mean by own it is be able to do it basically without thinking. So you can bring that into your practice. It's really good for the upper shoulders, the back, and the arms. Loosening the joints in Chinese is called song, S-O-S-U-N-G, I think, song, which is loosen, and to stretch the tendons in the shoulder area. So so we're going to do we're going to do our teacups, and then we're going to do a couple of the 5 animal frolic exercises. Last week we did 2. This week we're going to do bear, and I think we'll do bear and monkey. And then we're going to just examine in detail 2 more in sequence, 2 more of the sun forms. So we're going back to the beginning and we're kind of drilling through in a little bit more detail as a review, and also for you to really get to understand the essence of the move and some of the applications, which also helps with being able to do the move properly. So that's what we're going to do today. And as a kind of prelude to this, the theme of today's training is change. Everyone got that? Change? One of the true essences of Tai Chi is the accommodation of change. To let things happen naturally and then adjust to the situation rather than imposing our will on things. And so as an example of that, I was just looking out the window here and I thought I'd share this with you. It's a really windy day today. It's probably blowing 30 to 40 knots. And I don't know if you can see that, but you can see the all of the waves on the water. And notice I've got these trees and they look like banana trees, but they're actually called birds, giant birds of paradise. And their leaves don't grow like that normally. When they grow leaves, the leaves are flat and with veins and they're intact. But when it blows around here, they've adapted to the conditions by shredding their leaves, which doesn't hurt the plant at all, but allows the wind to flow through. So here's a good example of an adaptation to a natural phenomenon that allows these trees to grow and actually prosper in this area. So there's a lot of things we can learn from nature. And as I mentioned before, I think that Tai Chi evolved from people paying attention to natural phenomena, and especially the movements of animals. So let's get started. And let's greet the day. Let's bring up a huge amount of energy from the earth, bringing it overhead, bringing it down into our laps, collecting that energy in the dantian. And one more, bringing the energy up from the earth, turning it over, grabbing energy from the heavens and pushing down. So now we're coming up, arms stretched out, but not locked, fingers pointing down. Push down slowly. Come up. And in, pulling in, breathing in. Take a deep breath, push out. Let the energy go. Open the hands up. So what we're doing is transitioning from a full state. So this would be full, right, stretched out, to an empty state. And we just recycle. Pulling in is full, pushing out is empty. Expand, contract, stretch, and relax. One more, come in, push out, expand, and contract, and come down. Now, if you're experiencing high blood pressure, this may very well help you lower your blood pressure by 10 to 20 points. I actually played around with this myself when I was experiencing a temporary period of high blood pressure due to a medical procedure. And so I would just get up. I did it standing up. You can do it standing down. And you just relax and focus your attention on the movements. And remember to breathe in and out as you stretch and relax. Coming down. Take a closing breath. Come down. Good. Coming up, holding a ball. Open, close. Block down, turn to the right, and look. Come back, center, twist the hands or palms in opposite directions, rotating them both counterclockwise directions, blocking down to the right this time and turning to the left. Keep your arms bowed, as if you're kind of holding something, holding a barrel or a beach ball. The arm should always be, most of the time in Tai Chi, this is the correct posture for the arms. Noticing that the elbows are usually pointing down. Turning and looking. This is a variation of a Qigong called Wise Owl Looks Back, but we're doing it with arm movements instead of just turning the head back and forth. Come back and open and close. And come down and relax. Bring your hands up, open and close. Imagine that you have a ball. The ball has energy in it, and you're letting the energy expand and then pushing it in. You're controlling that through resistance, expansion and contraction. All right. So now we're going to turn the ball over and pull to one side, the side that your fingers are pointing to. And let your waist initiate the movement. We're going to drill down a little bit with this concept of the waist starting or initiating a movement when we start talking about some of the applications in brush knee. And coming back, open and close. Pushing to one side. Turning, pushing to the other side. Good. Keep your fingers pointing forward. Again, the waist initiates the movement. All right, now as you're pushing to one side, you would imagine that you're smacking something up front and smacking or blocking something in back using that elbow to jut back like that. So this is actually this is a move that can actually be used to defend yourself by pushing something aside at the same time using that elbow to strike back if you need to. All right. You want to have your hands lined up. See how my elbow is straight back and my fingers are pointing forward. So if I turn sideways, it looks like this. It's this kind of a move. All right. It's a force that goes sideways, but gently. You're not pushing out like this. You're pushing out gently. And then you turn both palms and you rotate back along the horizontal plane to the other side. Okay. So this move is normally done. It's called fan through arms. We don't have it in our set, not in this part of the set. It is a move that you'll see in Sunstyle, but not in the set that we do. One example of this is I might do a shuttle weave move, which is kind of like a brush knee. And then I may come up like this. And this is fan through arms. It's usually done sideways like this. And often the move looks like this, where the arms are spread apart. And what you're doing is grabbing an arm, turning to the side, grabbing an arm, reaching forward, pushing on a shoulder, and pushing over or pulling back. And so it would look like this. All right. So here we're practicing that on both sides. So can you understand how that might be used? Turning aside, grabbing an arm or a punch coming in, and taking this hand here and turning at the waist to push that person over. And it's the use of the waist that's really important here. So what we want to do is focus on letting the waist drive the movement. Okay, guys? So Joanne E, is that Joanne E? Joanne, sorry. So Joanne, are you new? You've been here before?
My name's Joan. Right. I've been here all along.
Oh, good. Oh, have you ever had, maybe you've had your video off in the past?
Sometimes I'm real dark.
Okay. I certainly understand that. Sometimes I do it. I got to forge ahead with this class. So what I want you to do is I want you to line up your hands. So imagine you're standing here like this, like holding a ball. All right, drop the ball, let the ball drop. Okay. And what I'd like you to do is reach across and smack a bug. There you go, with one hand, nice and slow. All right. At the same time, I'd like you to turn the other hand back and smack a bug behind you. Yeah, that's much better. And now rotate both hands and smack that bug in front and back on the other side. Good. All right, you got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's move on. We've done that exercise. And let's do a new one. Let's bring our hands up like this in front of us. Reach around. Come through and out. Good. All right, come back around. This is a variation of the teacup. And then out, around, and through and up. Back through, around, open up, scoop, and out. back through, around, open up, scoop, and out. And one more time, back, around, and up. So this movement here is a strike. So there are certain elements of that move. This is a strike too. I'm going to show you how you're going to use this in brush knee later on. So this Qigong has elements of martial applications. Blocking, right? And then deflecting out.
Sifu, aren't these also crane wings? The wings of a stork or a crane?
The stork whose wings is usually done this way, Chad. Yeah, you know, it's a block. You're blocking here, and you're blocking. This can be used in a lot of different ways, but this could be to block a punch and block a kick at the same time. You end up this way. All right.
I love the energy of the teacup exercise a lot. I really like it. It's very opening and expansive. I enjoy it a lot.
Okay, good. So here is, we didn't do this one. I have done this one before in classes, but I don't know if I've done it in this class. But here, what you've got is you're combining. You're going back, and then you're coming through, which is the opposite. So you're using both of the thrusts forward and the thrust back and turning this into a Qigong exercise, right? That's all we're doing. Sorry about that. Okay, I didn't want to get off the beaten track, but now that you know the teacup exercise, you can do this. You can do this one, all right? And this is this is a good general exercise to do. It's really good for the shoulders and the back. So now let's work down to the feet. I'm going to just take this. Let me turn my phone off. Sorry. Okay. Moving down to the feet, what we're going to do is bring the palms back to the waist, elbows straight back. We want the heart of the fist up. We're going to punch and kick. Kick out as far as you can. If you can't kick out that far, just kick down. If you can't use your feet, just use your arms. This is opposite. Opposite hands, opposite feet. Now, if you do this slow, you get more out of it than if you do it fast. Why is that? If I do it fast, it's a good cardiovascular routine, but it's not going to build strength. If you do it slow, it forces you, it becomes an isometric exercise, like weightlifting. And it is, but it's very gentle on the joints. And by doing it slow, it exercises the muscles more. All right, so let's be sure we do things slowly. And then let's go back down to the feet and quickly put the foot down, lift up the heel and rock back and forth. So my heel is up, my toe is down on the ground, and I'm just rocking back and forth. I put my foot down and I'm rocking my foot from side to side. And now the other foot. Rock the heel back and forth, the toe down, and then put the foot down and rock side to side. And if you don't have the use of your feet, you take this opportunity to exercise the wrist, the muscles in the wrist area. We're going to make a fist, put the thumbs up, and we're going to turn the thumbs down and rotate the fists around your wrist. So it's thumbs down and up, thumbs down and up. And then thumbs up and down. Let's go back, thumbs down. And thumbs up. So here's another exercise to develop ambidexterity and coordination. And the idea is to shoot the target with your finger. Shoot the target with your finger. Can everyone do that one? Once you do it, notice it means rotating the hands in opposite directions. All right. Creating mirror images. Great for hand coordination. All right. Little tidbits that I picked up from other teachers. All right, so let's do our teacups, all right? So teacup exercise. Once again, we're going to start with one hand, palm up, turn back, push back out to the side, like we're holding a teacup around in a circle. This is a circular movement like this. Back, down, and through, and out, and around. Good. So we come around in a circle, like we're holding a tray, serving something, coming around back, around, and through. And now the other hand. Back through, around in the circle, back through, around in the circle. And both hands together.
No needed escape.
Good. And then one hand and the other hand. Turn it back and around. Back and around. Back and around. Back and around. Back and around and back and around. All right. Now it gets interesting. 1, 2. So you start, let's see, you would start this way with one hand. and then start this way with the other hand. And as you do that, you just keep rotating. Once you get into the sync, it's easy to do. Just takes a little practice. Okay, good. But don't worry if you don't get that one. Okay, so now we're going the other way. We're coming in. One hand. Let's start with the right hand. Instead of going back and out, we're coming in and out and around the other way and back and through. Push through, extend out, bring the hand in around in a circle, back and through. All right, and now the other hand, push through, out, around, and back again. All right, both hands. One hand. Ready? The other one. Okay, now let's go back to the first one. Around, around. Instead of coming back in, we're going to block down. All right, so here we go. Back, around, through, and block. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1, 2, 3, we're using this energy. We're generating like a whip. All right. So we're using this circular motion to create more energy. It's basically what I'm trying to say. The other side. Each hand. And both hands. This is called a horse strike. Very effective. 2 people on each side. Push them aside or push them aside or push back like that. All right. So here we go. Both hands. 1, 2, 3, around, strike. 1, 2, 3, around, and strike. And now the other way, we're going to come forward. One hand, come forward, around, and up here instead of down here. It's the mirror image, right? So before we went down here and down, and here we're coming through and out and up, right? It's the only way you can go. Because the hand is moving in the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, around, back through and up. So it's an extra step. 1, 2, 3, around, back through and up. The other hand, push out, around, in, up, back through again, and strike. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's a circular motion that drives that energy in that strike. There's another strike in Tai Chi that looks like this. It's strike usually to the bridge of the nose with the other hand. And in a sense, that move can be done with the back of the fist or an open hand. All right, so both hands, here we go. One, let's try it. One. One. Two. Okay. All right, teacups, any questions? No questions. Okay, we have time for a couple of animals. Let's do monkey. These are the 5 animal frolic exercises, 2 of them anyway, that have been modified for the sitting position. We start just like in Tai Chi with the opening movement. As we come down, we spin the hands. We have the left hand going counterclockwise, the right hand going clockwise. On the laps, we draw up into monkey pose, bringing the paws up to the chest. And then we reach out, and if we can move our legs, we step out at the same time and pick the fruit, and then bring the hand and the arm in together to the chest, open the hands up and come down. And then we're going to take a closing breath. Good. Let's try the other side. 1. Spin. Come up. Step out, reach out. Step in, pull in. Push down. Open the hands up. Deep breath. Inhale, exhale as you come down. One, 2. Spin up. Step, reach, pick, and in. Push down. Open the hands, palms facing up, out to the side, overhead, pull down. Good. Up. Breathe in, down. Spin. Draw up. Step to the left. Pick the fruit. Bring the foot and hand in. Open the palms up and push down. Closing breath. Okay, bear. Bear sits up, opening move, and down. Commencement. Bear sits up again, takes a deep breath. And I want you to take it, as you take a deep breath, I want you to constrict your perineum. And now I want you to breathe out as you come down, but hold the perineum. Come up again, breathe in, hold it. Tighten up as much as you can in that area of your body. Come down. Exhale. Keep it tight. Pucker up. And now as you come down the third time, relax your perineum and breathe out. And now bring your hands to your sides and relax your arms. Just let them dangle. I want you to turn and look back. Your arms are at your sides, perfectly relaxed. Look back as far as you can. Twist and turn back as far as you feel comfortable. And then come back to center and cross your arms. Come up, breathing in, closing breath. Good. 1, 2, 3, tighten your perineum. Breathe in. 3 breaths. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then one more. Take a deep breath in, hold it. Relax your perineum. Breathe out and come down. Push the bushes aside. Drop your arms. Turn. Look back. Swing the arms back and forth. Look back. And let's do one more. Come up again and tighten your perineum. Breathe 3 times. 1. Exhale. Inhale 2. Exhale. Inhale 3. Exhale. Inhale 4. Relax your perineum. Come down. Part the bushes. Turn and look back. Turn and look back. Turn and look back. Turn and look back. Cross your arms or hands on your lap. Closing breath. Okay, good. So let's move on now to the set, the Sun style set. And I've mentioned this before, but one of the things you'll see, a theme that you'll see in a lot of the exercises we do, these preliminary warm-up Qigong exercises, is this open and close motif. And this open and close motif is one that you don't see in other styles. It's specific to Sun style. And it usually signifies a change in direction, but since we're sitting and not standing, it's hard to kind of appreciate that. And you can think of it in a way as a kind of transition between movements that allows you to kind of recover, recapture your chi, to re-equilibrate things and to settle down and move into the next step. It's also a convenient way. If you forget what the next step is, it gives you a little bit of time to think about, oh yes, let's see what's coming next. And so it gives you a little time, especially as an instructor, to try to remember what the next move is. So your students have the impression that you know what you're talking about. I teach a lot of different styles, and sometimes I get kind of confused, and I really have to think about things kind of critically. All right, so so let's move into the Sun style. And so we're so familiar with this commencement, starting out in a state of emptiness or state of nothingness, a kind of primeval state, the kind of state that you're in when you just wake up in the morning and you're just, becoming conscious. And that's the feeling. It's you're totally relaxed. Few deep breaths. We're ready to begin. We bring the hands up when we breathe in. And what we're doing is drawing up energy. Now, in other styles, the hands come up this way. like in the Qigong exercises we do. And then in the 5 animals, they come up this way, come down. This style, the hands are parallel. And so if you start with your hands at your sides, you bring the palms up. And as you bring the palms up, the fingers go from pointing down to pointing out. Now, that's actually significant because when the fingers are down in Tai Chi, it's thought that the Qi can leave your body and go through into the ground. And so if you notice, all the Tai Chi movements, we never have the fingers pointing down, ever. So in a move, for example, like brush knee, where we bring one hand down and across to block, for example, we bring it in, but we don't drop the fingers, ever. And another reason for not dropping the fingers is if you drop your fingers, they're vulnerable. Somebody can grab your hand, the fingers down, and pull your fingers back and break your wrist. It's much harder for somebody to manipulate your hand if your palm is facing down like this. And now here facing down, it's in a position to actually do something, right? It's in a position to block across. It's in a position to grab. Whereas the fingers are down, you have to manipulate your hand up into another orientation, able to do something with it. So here it has energy considerations, kind of ethereal, kind of like spiritual, however you want to look at it, considerations regarding energy, as well as practical applications. So as we come up, we go from a state of empty to an energized state, bringing the Qi up with us. And isn't that great? We bring it up and we have this energy ball. So that's why we want to think of this as an energy ball, because we're bringing energy up from the earth and forming it into a shape of a ball, getting ready to do something with it. And this is a really good fighting position too. Right? It has different shapes, sometimes like this, sometimes like this, but this is basically a get ready position, all right? Bringing the hands up, arms straight out, bringing the ball in and down, pushing out, bringing the palms in and open and close. And then we practiced single whip last week. We turn the palms out. As we push out and extend, we shift our weight a little bit to the right, but not leaning. Always want to maintain our center of gravity upright. And then we bring the right palm across, past the left, past and through the left, and line things up that right palm underneath the left elbow. Now you want to make sure that the upper hand is up near your face and the lower hand is down near your dantian. You're protecting your groin area here. And here you're protecting your face. You know, this doesn't work very well, or this doesn't work very well. I see students doing this all the time. And it's wrong, X, you know. Okay, so now we're over here. We're turned a little bit around the waist. We shift up and down. And what we're doing is getting ready. Now we've got our hands in a position to do cloud hands right. Pulling to the right, shifting up and down and pulling to the left. So it's kind of like a box, rounding the corner zone. Everything is here. Imagine a circle, imagine a cone. A cone that's surrounding your body, like a cone of protection. A cylinder, you're inside a cylinder and you're working inside that cylinder. And that cylinder is your area, your personal area. Nothing, we don't want to go out here. We don't want to go out here. All right, keep everything here, just past the shoulders. We come down and we're ready to stop. We're going to turn that lower hand up and bring it up as we turn forward, forming a ball again, and we open and close. Okay, so now we're ready for brush knee. So for brush knee, we turn to the right. So this is brush knee right. We turn to the right. At the same time, we slant the hands over. So we're just like turning the hands over to the right as we turn to the right. And that gets us set up with the left fingers kind of close to the right elbow. And this hand is open, ready to do something. And this arm is ready to do something. And in the set, what we're going to do is as we get to this point, we're going to turn at the waist, again, the waist leading the movement. We're going to brush across. I like to do it with the thumb down and push aside, like you're pushing something aside. But you'll often see it done like this, with the palm facing straight down. Now, either way is okay, either this way or this way. And as you do this, you're going to rotate this palm, the right upper hand, not rotate it, but you're going to push linear straight through that shoulder line up about face level as you block across, bringing the left hand when it reaches that quarter, that part of the cylinder on the left side, you want to bring it in. You don't want to bring it around like this. You want to bring it around and in. All right. Sitting up straight. So if we do that again, we're opening and closing, setting up, winding up, thinking of it as kind of winding up like a baseball player with a bat. It's the same movement. And twisting and turning at the waist, blocking across and pushing through. So there's a lot of applications. So one application is simple, blocking across. So if Chad were to, let's go ahead and, where are you? There you are. So Chad is my partner here. What do we do? Add pin? I don't know how to do this. There we go.
You want me to do it? Okay, I'll do it.
All right, so Chad is gonna, he's gonna, he can use either hand, and he's gonna just reach out and try to strike, right? And if he's using that hand, okay, I can come across and block this way, all right? Or I can do it on the other side, which is what we do later on in the set, and come around and block as he punches with the right hand. I come across and I either block it or grab it, and then I'm on his blind side. If he can't do anything, I've got his wrist, and I can smack him in the face. He can try to reach over and do something, but yeah, it's hard to do because I'm on the other side. I can do a lot of things with this hand. I can just reach over and push him over, grab and push him over. If I'm a nice guy, if I'm not a nice guy, I can reach over. I can smack him in the face, on the top of the head, whatever I want to do. I can also pull him across and turn and use my shoulder, my elbow, and hit him in the short ribs on the left side, on his right side. So okay, good. So now there's another way to play this game that not too many people know about. I happen to know about it because I studied this with this guy who showed me how to do it.
So is Chad still your partner here?
What's that?
Is Chad still your partner? Should I have him up on the screen here?
Can you see him on the screen on one side and me on the other?
Okay, got it. Yeah.
So now here's another move. Now Chad's not going to do anything right now. So the other move is if I'm set up like this, I'm going to set up like this, right? It's sort of like this. Well, I can start like this, but usually it would be like this. So I'm in that ready position, all right? Instead of reaching across and grabbing and striking, what I can do is if Chad strikes again with his left hand.
Left hand.
Where are you? All right, where's Chad? I don't see.
There we go.
I'll
It
find.
booted me out. Sorry about that.
All right, there he is. All right, there he is. All right, so I'm going to add a pin. All right, so Chad reaches out and he tries to hit me with his left hand. All right. What I do is I step to the side and I block this way on that side, right? This hand is here, remember? So if I turn and block near his shoulder and grab that hand, all right? Grab that arm. At the same time, I step in and I turn at the waist and push him over. There's hardly any defense against that. Now, usually it's done standing up, but I tried it sitting down. It works really well. Standing up, I would use a step called a twist step or a high lotus. In Tai Chi, there are lots of different steps. I want to show you this. I know this isn't a standing class, but in Tai Chi, there are lots of different steps. There's a Tai Chi step out like this. There's a bow and arrow. There's a prime meridian like this. There's what's called a rooster, which is a way of protecting against a kick, okay, or could be a knee to the groin. There's a horse step. It's used here to brace yourself and to block back. Let's see, there's a high lotus, and the high lotus looks like this, all right? So if I step into a high lotus, I step back like this. A low lotus is done this way. And there are applications for that. Now I'm going to use this lotus step in combination with this brush knee, okay? And so what's going to happen is Chad is going to strike out, right? And at the same time, I'm going to go into my lotus, twist at the waist, and deflect right here at his, kind of near his shoulder, right? And now I'm going to grab that fist or that wrist there. Go ahead and flex that so they see that. Yeah, so I'm going to grab his wrist. And now I have his arm. I'm right up against there. I'm going to step back and back of him. And now I've got his fist. I'm locked into him like this. And all I need to do is turn and push him over that leg, okay? It's very effective. The other thing I can do, he sets up again, right? I block, grab, step in, and now I'm not such a nice guy. I bop him with the back of my hand, whack, like that, and then throw him over. So, but I'm a nice guy, so I don't do any of that, but I just wanted to show you. All right, so you got a lot of applications. And so what the form is the form is just a form. And often the applications are variations of the form. And you can take any one of these applications, and I have some skill in the art, but there are people that know maybe 100 applications, you know, for just this one move. That's an exaggeration. Maybe there are 10 or something like that. But if you add them all up and you have 30 movements or more, and you have 4 or 5 applications for each movement, you have quite an arsenal at your disposal should you want to use it. Now, what you see happening in Tai Chi is I didn't do anything until Chad did something. And then what I did was, based on what he did, I did what seemed to be appropriate at the moment. The only way I can make that happen is to be totally relaxed and open to whatever's going to happen. And that's kind of why I kind of started out showing you those trees. They're totally open to what's happening, and they just adapt to deal with the situation. And in that way, they're able to survive. And so this is sort of a metaphor for what we're doing here is training our minds to relax and training our bodies to do things in a natural way for either health or relaxation or for martial applications. So that's my little spiel. It's 11:55. You want to, Chad, you want to add anything to that? Because I know you have some experience in this. Is there any-
Well, I mean, I think it goes back to what we said and we have continued to say, Sifu, and it's that yes, there's always a martial aspect, right? But every time that we're doing any of these moves, you know, we're experiencing an energy and a body state. And the more familiar we come with that body state, you know, as long as our geometry, our physical body is correct, you know, we will continue to do better and better. And so returning continually through these exercises to these body states where you're constantly giving direction on movement, what part of the body is launching it, making sure your back is straight. These things are repeated again and again, but they have to be, right? Because we're not there. You don't have the benefit of coming up to us and physically correcting our bodies. That would be instantaneous. So, you know, by you continuing to discuss these principles again and again, it gives you the opportunity outside of class to go back and watch this and practice them. Because especially with Tai Chi or any energy drills, you know, there are subtle nuances, and everybody has a different body. Maybe your shoulder is tweaked, or somebody has a problem with their leg, or maybe somebody, you know, is not able to walk. Whatever the case may be, different bodies have different body states. But focusing on the principles that you're teaching and correcting yourself again and again guarantees success. Coming to a class and only doing it at class, it's not that you won't gain benefit, because you certainly will, but your benefit will increase exponentially by reviewing this material and practicing on your own. And that's why I like going back to them again and again, because each person has different capabilities. You know, I have a very hard time with the teacup because I have a brain injury. Somebody else might do a much better at the teacup. Well, I practice. Why? Because I'm not good at it. It makes perfect sense, but I'm going to try. So I would say, no matter how uncomfortable this stuff is, keep trying, because it's really beneficial, and I
Yeah.
believe beneficial for everybody.
Yeah, those are great comments. And you know, I've been doing this for a long time, and maybe I've done it 10,000 times. But every time I do it, I feel like I'm a beginner. And if you feel that's okay. I accept that I'm always a beginner, and that there are so many, like you say, nuances to things that I can't seem to practice enough. And I'm always discovering new things about the things I think I'm an expert on. Now, you also pointed out something else, that everybody here has maybe some disability. I certainly have mine. You know, I've got certain parts of my body that don't work as well as other parts. You know, I've got some injuries here, some injuries there. I'm not as flexible as I used to be when I was 20 years old, so on and so forth. And the wonderful thing about Tai Chi practice is not only can you do it and do it well, if you not interested in applications, if you have no interest at all in using it to defend yourself, you can develop a form that's really quite beautiful with those you know, accepting those limitations. And one example of this is, I'm going to use an example that we just went over, that Chad and I demonstrated, is I blocked him like this. And that's very easy to do. Most people can do this, right? And, you know, I'm not asking you to kick up, you know, to kick him up on the top of his ear, or to do somersaults and all this stuff. All I'm doing is turning around and grabbing his hand. Now, I have arthritis in this finger. And if I grab his hand, I'm probably not going to use my whole hand. But it doesn't matter. All I need is these two fingers. Because once I've trapped him and grabbed these two fingers, it's just as effective as using my whole hand. And so Tai Chi is really well adapted to dealing with whatever kind of situation you have.
I did just want to say,
Other martial arts. Right? Okay.
yeah, the other thing is that with you teaching Paul Lamb's approach, he is 100% about inclusiveness. There's no judgment in the form. You participate and can be included as much as you are able to and willing. And many martial arts not like that. They have, and that's what I love the most. I never experienced the Sun style. I only experienced Yang style in my past. And I love the form because it's well balanced and it's very generous and it's also very kind on your body. So I like the inclusiveness of it, and I think that's a big theme in this class in my mind. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's right. And that's good to come back to that because Paul Lamb developed this style, not Sun style. He didn't invent Sun style.
Right.
But he had at his disposal lots of different styles. And he decided that this style is a really good style for seniors for the reasons that Chad pointed out. And then the other thing the last thing I wanted to mention, thanks for bearing with us, is that Chad brought up a very interesting point. He said that he kind of implied that you don't have to do it perfectly to do it well. But I'm going to add something to that. As long as you follow the basic principles, which are based on applicabilities, you're okay doing it that way. There's no right way or wrong way, but it's all based on on the use of these for basic for self-defense. And so, whether you have your hand up here or up here, it doesn't matter because sometimes you're going to be using this hand from here and sometimes you want it up here. And so if you have trouble lifting this hand up, let's say to this position for some reason, and it's down here, you can adapt to it and just go ahead and use that. There's no right or there's no right or wrong, except if you go beyond the bounds of applicability, of utilization. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
If there was only one way to do it, there'd only be one style. Okay.
And I only say that because I'm very critical of myself. And I find this to be very generous and very forgiving. And that makes it easier for me to participate. And it makes Tai Chi something that's joyful, not something that I'm failing at because I can't do everything right. And I think for me, and maybe that is a benefit to other people as well. I hope so.
Yes, and the system is designed to use as little force as possible. And the saying is that 4 ounces defeats 1,000 pounds. And in this example, just simply stepping aside, and I only have 2 fingers. Let's say I don't know, these 4 fingers are gone. I grab his wrist with these 2 fingers, and I just basically come up against him on the inside using my body. And I'm just using a very simple technique that requires no effort, and then just turn at the waist and throw the person over my foot, which happens to be in that position. Okay, and you can use this in your chair as well. You're not doing a twist step lotus, but you're going like this, grabbing and then turning and pulling over. All right. Well, this was a good session. Thank you, Chad, for those comments.
Thank you for involving me.
As I'm always happy to do that. And anybody else has anything to say, positive or negative. All right, we all can draw from our own experiences and we all have something to offer in this class. So have a good week and looking forward to next week.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.